Yeah, I look back now at some of the stuff we did, and I just wouldn't ever do those things anymore. And I was just in a different place. It was a different time in my life. It was before I had kids. Even when I had Zealand, once my 9-year-old was born, he's 9 now, but when he was born, I still remember we were up in Fairbanks, Alaska, filming for my last real snow part for X Games 2018. And I was pulling the rope back. It was, again, 2 in the morning, dark. We were out there with the Bobcat, everything's set up, lights are going, filmers, photographers all flew in from the US, from down here in the States. And we're shooting, it's just me. When you're doing real snow, you're not always riding with a bunch of people. So the pressure's it's really on you. They're just staring like, are you gonna hit this? What do you wanna do next? It's a little bit intense, but I was pulling the rope back after hitting the spot, probably like the 50th try, which we can talk a little bit about that too, just the amount of failure and amount of get up you have to be a snowboarder. But I'm pulling the rope back and I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, this just isn't for me anymore. And it was a moment where I still remember where I was. And at that time I was already committed to my part for 2018. So I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to just be like, oh, I'm done. So I finished that part, and that was really the beginning of the end. It was just I had a couple moments where I fell and it could have been really nasty. And I was just thinking, it's just not worth it anymore. It's been fun and it's been great, but things have changed.
That's really interesting you say it sort of flipped. Like there was a moment where you said, this is not for me anymore. How did you distinguish between a fleeting emotion? Like you did it 50 times, you said. You could have easily been like, all right, I'm done for the day. I'm exhausted. This thing hasn't worked out. I'm just not feeling it. How did you distinguish that feeling with I'm just done with this overall? Because I think that's difficult for people to know the difference between the two, and they end up making bad decisions because they can't.
Yep. Great question. I could feel it in my heart. I could just tell that there just was a change, and it was deep. It wasn't like dang, this is frustrating. This isn't working out. I'm going to call it for the day. It was a much more like core feeling of like, damn, what if I had something go south here? Because it happens sometimes. A lot of snowboarders go up to Alaska, they get buried in an avalanche and they die. Or you have something dramatic happen where you're in a wheelchair and things can change quickly. And so I don't know, it was just a deep feeling. And I would say I started to have creeping thoughts of it, but it was that specific session where I slipped out on the jump, and I was going up a kicker and I was landing on a rail that was really high, and I almost slipped out and would have slammed right into it, and my back would have gotten messed up. And so, something just changed, and I could just tell it wasn't what it used to be.